Oh baby, the time has come. Eric Church has released the first album of his trilogy, Heart, and it's time to talk about it. Heart, as I said, is the first album of the Heart and Soul Trilogy Eric will be releasing over the course of this next week. However, unless you're a subscribed member of his church choir, you won't have access to the middle album but back to the point of this video, Heart. The Red album, the Red singles, really the album I have been looking forward to the most given the pre-releases. I just found the singles from Heart much more successfully adventurous and gave the impression we could be in for a real showstopper. And though lots of the tracks on this record are at that showstopper level of quality, especially in the latter half of the project, Heart fails to keep its eye on the prize and sort of trips up while reaching for the stars. Despite Heart only having 9 tracks with a runtime of 31 minutes, it is a massive album. The instrumental palettes, the vocal performances, the production techniques, the builds, the backup vocals, the lyrical content, everything is massive. This metaphorical gargantuan size is a blessing in many occasions, but is also the downfall of part of this record. Eric is often just trying to do too much. Though I do respect the courage and willingness to go this big on a project, I think had Eric focused more on intentional details rather than big details, he would have been on the verge of a true album of the year contender. Not that this album isn't great, it just falls short of the potential it shows all throughout. Production-wise, this thing is nothing short of cinematic. From the curveballs he threw at us mid-track on songs like Heart on Fire, Heart of the Night, and Never Break Heart, to the crazy builds he constructs over the course of nearly every track, Eric really went for it on this project. He was truly shooting for the moon on this one. And often enough, Eric does make it. He lands foot on the cheese wheel, and it's something to behold when he does. Look at specifically the opening 3 tracks, which I think are the 3 best songs being offered here. Heart on Fire has this fat rockin' groove straight from the get-go, which acts as almost a ticking time bomb until this chorus hits, and boy does it do the job impeccably well. When Eric loosens up a little, lets himself go vocally, is arguably when he's at his best. His voice is so versatile that it peaks when he's not overthinking or putting himself in a box, like on the pre-release from Soul, Break It Kinda Guy, where Eric just tries too hard to have fun or be the life of the party. Tying back to Heart on Fire, this lack of framework on his delivery is what makes this song so fun. Not many people could yelp the chorus with the same level of conviction Eric brings. John Party and Luke Combs are the only people I could see successfully doing this track justice, but Eric still tops them both. Other instances of Eric being vocally free and really just soaring can be found on tracks like Heart of the Night, Love Shine Down, and Stick That in Your Country Song. One thing I have to praise the production team for is the constant curveballs that I mentioned in the beginning. Whether it's a full-on compositional 180 like the second half of Never Break Heart, or the fun rhythm change that lets the percussion pound away while Eric snarls the pre-chorus of Heart on Fire, this record does a great job of keeping your attention. You're always on your toes and never really know what's going to happen. You would think given the short runtime and track list, this abundance of sharp turns and loop-de-loops would feel overdone or obnoxious, but they just don't. Just in general, the structure of these songs is unconventional, and I love that. It's part of the reason why outside of country I love albums like Swimming and Blonde. Although 3 chords and the truth is all you really need, it's always fun when a song isn't verse, chorus, bridge, chorus. Because when it's done properly, this lack of a steady structural base can really lead to some cool passages and opens the door to a lot more creativity. I'm not saying country artists should abandon song structure or forget about the traditional format, but it's the fact that these moments like Heart are so rare that makes their impact that much greater. Overall, these songs sonically just have a lot going on, but as I alluded to earlier, it can be a blessing and a curse. Because though the bold choices like the crashing finale of Heart of the Night, or Eric's modified vocals during the transition of Heart on Fire are cool and pay off in a big way, we get the other side of the story and the moments that didn't quite work out, like that weird rattle running throughout Love Shine Down that, if anything, sounds like the twist it on a bop it machine. It gets really annoying after like 3 seconds of its presence. Or take really the majority of Bunch of Nothing, a track that is by far the weakest of the pack. Not only does it sonically sound like a Coulter Wall throwaway, which doesn't fit at all on such an expensive grand project, but lyrically it's just a huge dip in quality from what we had been getting. Eric's vocals feel stressed and a little obnoxious at times, and overall it just doesn't work out. To wrap up the last few minutes, Eric's ambition, though it leads to some truly stunning moments, also leads to the demise of some of these tracks that simply shouldn't have been as bold as they were. Now to the side of music Eric rarely lacks in, the songwriting department. Eric just has a way with words, and he brings that natural talent and geniusness to this record. Like on Russian Roulette, which lyrically is easily one of the best tracks we've received so far in 2021, Where Eric finds or thinks of these ideas, I have no clue. Russian Roulette is a song about Eric driving around listening to the radio, just praying the next song that comes on isn't tied to something that makes him sad. He never specifies what event he doesn't want the songs to relate to. I just assume it's in general, because we all have those songs that remind us of times or events we would rather forget, but the way he presents this idea and is able to translate that intangible concept into words is beyond me. Just some standout lyrics I want to mention. While most people would say they were speeding, Eric writes, "Lead foot and a steel toe." Or rather than saying the song hurts, Eric says, "But a song like a bullet from a dashboard light, getting shot through the speakers both left and right in stereo, messing up my head playing Russian roulette with the radio." It's nothing short of poetic, and there are very few people on this earth who can write so indirectly, yet get their point across as clear as day. Or on People Break, a simple song about the reality that people break, people cry, etc. Eric is just able to paint a picture with so little words. He makes his words count, similar to what Hardy does on Unapologetically Country as Hell. While Eric is painting the backdrop and setting of this song, he says the smoke from the mill stack turn in that blue white. The last example I'm going to use is Crazy Land, which we've all probably heard by now. A song that shows Eric's ability to personify emotions and fill an entire bar. The song is simply Eric giving someone a tour of this packed bar that is a symbol for his mind. Over there playing pool is foolin' lost, and tending the bar tonight, that's all my fault. The point is, Eric's songwriting maintains that level of incomprehensibly good we've grown used to, except for Bunch of Nothing, which, as the title would suggest, is just a song about a bunch of nothing. Really, up until this point, my only criticisms are a bunch of nothing and a few production choices or vocal moments that simply don't work. But there's one more problem with this album, personally the most glaring issue, and that is the sequencing. In every way, shape, and form, the first 4 tracks of this album are killer. Sonically on point, lyrical gems, and all consistent with a theme of relationship, attachment, and youth, which is a common theme Eric writes about. But as the album progresses, like I said in the intro, the focus becomes less and less clear. What was a straight highway to success forked off and lost its direction. The first run-in with the sequencing I had was when we got to Stick That in Your Country song. By no means is it a bad song, it's a fantastic song. It just feels awkward when placed in between People Break and Never Break Heart, songs that even by the titles would suggest they should come one after the other, but rather we get this angry political song slapped in between, and on an album that for the most part is focused on love and mental awareness, an angry rock and roll song about teachers being underpaid just doesn't fit very well. Furthermore, Crazy Land feels like it should be the closer, but for whatever reason it gets followed up by easily the biggest dud, Bunch of Nothing. It just feels like we moved on too quickly from the sentimental, reflective world Crazy Land trapped us in. The real closer is Love Shine Down, a song about simply being in love and asking this girl to let her love shine down, be the saving grace Eric needs, but also a song that just feels better fit for the front half of the record. Seeing as we opened with love songs and transitioned into heartbreak songs, it feels weird to have another upbeat, quick-paced love song tacked on at the end. I just think a more thoughtful ordering of the songs could have done this record a massive favor, because the quality for the most part is there. It's just not presented in the organized manner I think it should have been. So quickly before I close off, I would like to present how I would have ordered the track list on Heart. Number 1, Heart on Fire. I love this one as the opener for the energy it brings. 2, Love Shine Down. 3, Heart of the Night. 4 is a little strange, but hear me out. We bring Hell of a View over from Soul and plop it into Heart. I just think it's a better fit given the fact Heart deals with a lot of romance and teenage love and whatnot. I just think Hell of a View fits right in with the themes, a heck of a lot better than Stick That in Your Country song. Number 5 is Russian Roulette. At this point, we're starting to wind down the record. 6 is People Break. 7 is Never Break Heart. As I said, I think these songs were born to follow each other. Why they didn't in actuality, I have no clue. And the closer, number 8, Crazy Land. And that would be the whole album if I was up to it. I scrapped Stick That in Your Country song and Bunch of Nothing. Personally, I think that's a much tighter focused record. Seeing the track list here, if that was the case in reality, we would easily be looking at a 9, debatably closing in on a 10. Given the fact I just mentioned a hypothetical rating, I think it acts as a nice transition into my final rating. Heart was freaking good. I think it's hard to deny that. Eric brought the heat on this one and it paid off. Although, as I said, when you shoot for the moon on every track, if you don't make it, that's a long fall back down to earth, as we saw specifically on Bunch of Nothing. Though I think the sequencing had its flaws as well as some strange production and vocal choices, I really enjoyed this listen. It's nice and compact, it just sort of fell out of focus as it went on. Rating wise, I'm feeling an 8 on the dot. If you're a diehard Eric fan, soak in this moment of high praise while you can, because looking at the pre-releases we've got from Soul, I'm not sure how optimistic I'm feeling, but we'll have to find out when it drops. Be sure to come back next week for my review of Soul when it comes out. Although while you wait for Soul to be released, you may as well stick around for a bit, check out the channel, maybe consider subscribing for more country music content. Links to my Instagram and Discord are in the description. And yeah, until next time, have a great day.